This is a cool story. Coca-Cola ringing the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. That's not even the cool part. Because it's now been 100 years since Coca-Cola has gone public. Wow, congrats to them. So that got us thinking. If Coke can do it, maybe who else can? Okay, so check out some of the big name IPOs this year. We've got some winners and losers on the bunch. If you're on the radio, it's names like Uber and Levi's and Fiverr and others. So our traders are looking into their crystal balls to predict which of this year's offerings might stand the test of time and last a full century as a publicly traded company. Or maybe there's nobody. Pete Najarian kicking off.
There is. There absolutely is. Well, tea and alcohol have been around 5,000 years. Coffee's been around about 1,000 years, but only documented for about 500 years. So I'm going to China, okay? And who's taking on Starbucks over there? Luckin, boy, you are right on top of this thing. These guys are growing so fast. They already got themselves up to that 2,000 stores. Now they're moving towards the 4,000 stores. They're talking about 6,000 stores by 2022. Luckin Coffee, this is going to be around for 100 years because they will take over China. They will absolutely steamroll, I think, over Starbucks.
Wow.
And that's going to position them for a long, long, long run.
You say they got a latte gains ahead of them. Is what you're saying. Okay. Listen, the price of wholesale coffee beans up 36% in 6 weeks. Just throwing that out.
The beauty about coffee, Brian, the beauty about coffee is
it's delicious.
You can get the prices go lower, and you still can raise your price.
That's hot.
Grasso.
Yeah.
So for me, it had to be a tech company, and it had to be a company that was over $5 billion in market cap to start off with. It's Dynatrace for me, and they had to be a leader in application performance monitoring, which is where they are. No one even knows what that is. It's so techy right now. So for me, it's DT. Got to stay with tech and got to stay with something that can be around for the next 100 years.
Wow.
This one.
Yes, this one. It's actually not going public, I think, till tomorrow. You would know better, right?
It's priced. I just happened to encounter the guy that helps run it.
Okay, so mine is, I don't know if you can see that, Saudi Aramco, right? They're only selling a teeny portion of it, tiny. I wouldn't buy the stock because as an owner of a tiny, tiny percentage of it, they'll do whatever they want. However, with the resources they have, that valuation, they will evolve. I don't know into what.
Yeah.
They will evolve, and I think they stand the best chance of being here 100 years from now.
OPEC, by the way, the energy minister told us to camera at the press conference. I asked him a question about the IPO. He goes, it's the proudest day of his life, and it's going to be worth more than $2 trillion. He was talking up the IPO in a very big way. We ran those comments, by the way, on CNBC on Friday from Wien, Vienna, Austria. Guy Adami, who is your 100-year trade?
Well, I'm a big social media person, and if you can look at the TV screen, you can read, that is my Pinterest page. I encourage most of you to come and check it out. Pinterest. And you're out of your freaking mind,
He
guy.
is out of his mind.
And yes, I am. But you know what? They keep adding users. Their clients are very engaged. Advertisers are making their way there. Call me crazy, but I think Pinterest is going to evolve. And 100 years from now, when I'm 185, you're going to be talking about PINS, despite the horrible quarter they just came off of.
Well, I hope that lives on, because that was some style. You had Karen up there, you had a picture of Italy. It was fantastic.
Audrey Hepburn with a hat.
All right, up next, today's mystery chart. Shares of this company nearly tripling today on news of a multi-billion-dollar takeover deal. Who could it be? We're going to let you know. Plus, get your motor running, or at least change the spark plugs. AutoZone reporting their results before the bell tomorrow, and one trader says there's one strategy that has been profitable more than 90% of the time heading into the print. That's almost all the percent. And we're going to get that coming up on AutoZone when Fast Money returns. All right, welcome back to Fast Money. Well, another week, more big biotech buyouts. Merck acquiring Massachusetts-based Arcule and Sanofi buying Synthorx, which is based in La Jolla, California. Both deals are valued at more than $2 billion, and both get access now to high-demand cancer treatments. With these deals, guys, get this, investors in both companies have gained in a year more than 430%, obviously including the buyout premium, but they were on fire before it. News of the deal sent the S&P Biotech ETF, the XBI, rallying back to its highest levels in more than a year. With all this wheeling and dealing, can the biotech breakout continue?
100%. And this is not speaking in a vacuum. I know Pete's been talking about this. We've been talking about this space now literally the last couple of years, and we've mentioned names. Amgen continues to make all-time highs, reasonable valuation, tremendous pipeline. Just some good news on the FDA front. You know, I think Amgen can continue to go higher from here despite the move it's had. You saw Novartis with the medicines company. There are deals taking place, and I think these stocks, relatively speaking, the ones with the pipelines are still very inexpensive. So to answer your original question, absolutely yes.
Yeah, I do think we're back to those days where people are starting to look for they don't want to wait, Brian, so they'll let somebody else get to a point of development and then say, you know what, it would have cost us at least that much, if not more, to get to this point. Talking about $1.5 billion, $2 billion they're spending on some of these. Increase what they've got in terms of exposure to cancer, which seems to be the area everybody wants to go. I mean, Roche made a deal, Novartis made a deal. There's all kinds of deals going on, anywhere between $9 billion and below. But I'll tell you what, I think there are companies out there in the biotech space that will stand alone, and I do think it's the Amgens of the world. Biogen
well, they're huge. I mean, they're 600 billion. Let's be clear.
Biogen still trades at a 10 multiple, and this is a biotech, and they're still involved in hoping for good results for Alzheimer's.
I've got this big old screen here, Steve Grasso. It's got about 100 plus biotechs, and you know what? About half are up and half are down. Some of them are down 60 and 70%. The point is, if you're going to invest in individual stocks in biotech, you better, A, know what the heck
you have to know what you're doing.
And B, you're going to always be taking a bit of a risk, because if that drug does not work at any of the levels,
it's binary. So
binary.
This is exactly the way I feel about investing in this group. So if you buy the IBB, the ETF, the number one holding is Amgen. Then you get Gilead. Then you get Vertex. And then you get Illumina. And then you get Biogen. So you get them all. Those are the top holdings. It's already up 25%. You're not going to get the days where you walk in and your fund is up 80%, but you're also not going to get the days when you walk in and your fund is down 80%.
Because the top 10 stocks in the IBB, and I think off the top of my head, there's 204 stocks in it, are 51% of the ETF. So you're relying on, you're just like fanging it, right? You've got Google and these big stocks. If they move, it moves. If they don't, but you're not going to get that big upside. Should we maybe take a flyer on a couple names?
You could do XBI, which is more.
Why not pick a couple of good names, and with money you can, lose.
By the way, there was monstrous call buying in Arcule just a couple of days ago, just to give you a little insight on what's going on. Giddy up.
Ahead of a big deal?
Oh, amazing, isn't it?
How lucky.
Yeah, it's good timing.